have with us Majazz Muwwakkil of All Hands Assemble Services. So, Majazz, nice to have you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. I'm getting kind of nervous. This is like the real deal.
No, don't be.
I appreciate it. I genuinely appreciate it.
Don't be at all. So, All Hands, if you have not heard of him, honestly, I don't know who hasn't in the Atlanta or DC now area. Like you've just been out here working. Yeah. So, All Hands, you buy it, we build it. How did you get started?
So I've genuinely always had a passion for like using my hands to create things. And I feel like with All Hands, it just really allowed me to really like show my creative side in different type of ways. Growing up, I was always, I could always build things with my hands. You know what I'm saying? My mom would buy things and, you know, we would have curtains and stuff that need to be hung around the house and stuff like that. And I can never recall like us ever hiring people to ever do like anything like that, like moving, you know what I'm saying? It was me and my two brothers. So I really just started, and I've always had that type of I guess, I don't know. Like
ability
ability to just kind of like see things and see how they kind of go together. And I've always took interest in doing stuff like that.
Right.
So I mean, it kind of transpired between that and working on cars and just pretty much just using my hands to just build and create things. I find genuine peace in that.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's really interesting. So what made you start? Like COVID started, pandemic, everyone got home.
Well, actually, okay.
Yeah,
let's get to it.
Yeah.
So it really started with, I would say the pandemic really was the thing to like, you know, push me out because I was working my 9-to-5 job, and so I work at Mercedes-Benz. And basically our dealership, the government basically said that car repair is considered essential. So throughout the whole pandemic, you know, from January to when there's no working from home, so I had to adjust my mentality, you know, pretty quickly, as basically saying that I'm not about to be laid off or anything like that, which was a blessing. Like, I'm glad I have a job, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. But it kind of really pushed me out because I felt as if I was not capitalizing on all the talents that I had. And doing things like what I do with All Hands, like I said, it brings me genuine peace. So it's like, to me, it doesn't really feel as if I'm working because one, I've been doing this my whole life, you know, like I've been hanging curtains. Like that's, to me, is like, oh, well, my mom asked me to hang curtains, you know what I'm saying, the other day. So that really was the backbone, I guess, you know what I'm saying, of it, and then it really kind of opened my eyes to see, one, how many people actually supported me, you know, and then on top of that, it's more so, I've found a market where everybody needs something done.
Yes.
Like regardless of what it is, you know, as simple as hanging up a picture frame to building, you know, a TV stand, to mounting a TV, to whatever you can think of. You know what I'm saying? That's why my slogan is, you buy it, we build it. So whatever it is that you purchase, whatever your idea is of, well, I want to do something super extravagant. If we can look at it and we can go over and discuss what actually needs to be done, if it can get done, I can do it.
Okay.
I can just put it like that, because it's like, my thing is, if the only things that I really can't do is things that can't be done, you know, like, so, but if it can physically happen, then I can physically make it happen.
All right, so you heard what he said. If it could physically happen, Majazz can do it.
I can do it, I promise.
So tapping into that support piece that you just talked about, the people that support you, you recently had a job with an Atlanta Hawks player.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Oh man, that was actually really crazy. So that morning, I remember that day. And shout out Brandon Goodwin. Shout out to all the work that he brings me, because he just moved and all of that good stuff. So, you know, he's keeping me in business, you know, pretty much by himself. So it really started, I remember that morning, I got up and I was going for a walk, and I got a notification on Twitter that someone just mentioned me in a tweet. And that's pretty common now, because people always ask, so who mounts TVs, or who, you know what I'm saying? So I'm usually pretty much on my phone a lot when it comes to, you know, when people are reaching out, because I kind of want to get back within a timely fashion.
Right.
So someone mentioned me on Twitter, so I go, you know what I'm saying, check my notifications, and Brandon had tweeted, who installs blinds in ATL? Well, you know, me, All Hands does, you know, like I said, it's, you know, it's not, you know, the most difficult thing in the world. So a bunch of people actually, which was really crazy, because I want to say it was like maybe six or seven people mentioned me in that one tweet. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
So it was like literally like, I want to say the only other person that was mentioned was like Lowe's. Like they mentioned, you know what I'm saying, something like that. So he reached out to me. He was just like, yeah, you know. Once I saw the tweet, you know, I DM'd him. I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I'm Majazz. You know, I have my own company, All Hands, blah, blah, blah. And then he was just like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like this is, you know, where I live. You know, X, Y, and Z. Went in, installed the blinds, and it's just from that point forward, I felt like there was like a trust and a bond. You know what I'm saying? When it comes, and because I really. When I'm coming from an all hands type of perspective, I want everything to be professional. Like, and that's whether I've known you for, you know, 10 years or I just met you via Twitter. You know, I want my business to be like, yeah, we know each other, but at the same time, you're paying for a service. So I'm gonna make sure that service is done to the highest, you know, to your expectations. Usually how a lot of my relationships with people start in regards to my business, it's social media, man. Like everyone who like reposts something that I do or like shouts me out, like my marketing team is like all of y'all. So I genuinely appreciate that, like from the bottom of my heart, because like a lot of people think that, you know what I'm saying, or I wouldn't even say think, but a lot of people forget that when you own your own business, it's like usually you're the one person doing everything.
Every single
literally,
job.
You're the one person, and then being that I provide a service, is on top of doing everything on the back end, I have to actually perform the service that you know what I'm saying, that you need done. So it's definitely, like I said, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, because it definitely takes a lot to get everything done. And then on top of that, like I said, provide the service. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Thank you so much.
That's really awesome. I think you said so many important things. One, professionalism, especially as a small business. You know, one bad job can stick with you for a while.
Like, and so me, I'm kind of like people say I'm a perfectionist, you know what I'm saying? And I would say—
You put quotes
yeah,
on
because,
it?
because yeah, I am, you know, to some extent, you know, I just don't like halfway done work, you know, and it's very easy to like rip people off when it comes to, especially a business like this. Like, could I go and just toss something up and sure, why not? Like, if I just wanted the money, like, but for me, it's not really all about that. You know,
Right.
I like educating people on stuff about their home, you know, educating them on what drywall is and studs and why I decided to do this and drill this hole instead of that, because it's like, I feel like the more, it's like, I was always taught like reach one, teach one. Well, if you can reach 10, you know, teach 10. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like the more knowledge that we all know, and if I have like a skill or something like that that people could benefit from, why not? Because the knowledge is, yeah, I have it, but it's just sitting in my head doing nothing. You know, I know how to drill through drywall and hit a stud. You know, maybe you don't, and maybe that's not something that you're interested in.
I don't know what a stud is.
Right, but at least you know, and then it comes, it's like, oh, okay, Majazz, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what this is, because it's easy to get scammed when you don't know.
Most definitely, most definitely. So really, All Hands, this interview with Majazz, is speaking to every single person who has a skill or has a passion, because as you said, like your mom never had a handyman, you were the handyman.
I was the handyman.
You did not go to school for this,
No.
and you really just figured out how to make it work. And I think that the reason why professionalism is so important to you is because of the fact that it's your passion.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing something for money, eventually
Yeah,
it's
just runs out.
Yeah, it's literally just gonna run out. So All Hands, what can we look forward to coming up? What do you have coming up for the people?
I have a lot actually coming up.
Okay, let us
It's
know.
a lot. Sometimes it gets overwhelming, but you know, it's good. I just did my first pop-up shop, All Hands pop-up shop in DC, which was great. You know, flew up to DC for a couple of days, you know, rounded some people up that needed some work done, got that accomplished, came on back. So more pop-up shops for sure is gonna be in the near future. Thinking a little bit longer term, I really wanna take this to another type of level, because we have like, you know, the Task Rabbits and stuff like that. And it's just like, well, what if you don't wanna use Task Rabbit? You know what I'm saying? What if you wanna use
All Hands.
You know, so it's like, you know, it's more so just taking things one thing at a time. Pop-up shops, like I said, for sure is a big thing for me. And people were asking about the merchandise. So originally this was just like a work shirt. You know, I was just like—
It's a great shirt. I want one as well.
Shout out to Creatives Control. Shout out Creatives Control for the logo and the design. But originally, like I said, it was just like, I need a shirt to, you know, brand myself, because I don't want to just go over to people's house and like just a Nike t-shirt. You know, who is this random dude, you know, in my house building it?
Right.
So, but people wanted, they liked the merchandise, so I was thinking about just selling the merchandise, and you know, hey, by all means, you know, of course you could be a part of the All Hands family. But outside of that, those are really the main focal points.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So once again, thank you so much Majazz for coming out and doing this interview with us. He did say a couple of really important things that I kind of just want to pinpoint before we go off. One, branding. Branding is very, very important. One, you created this shirt. It was a work shirt. Had no idea. Now, hopefully, it'll be some merchandise for some of us to be able to buy. And then two, you really saw a market that was open, because you're right, a lot of times when you buy something, you have to like either pay for that handling fee and then they have to come in and do it. But now you can do all things yourself, and most importantly, sharing your gifts with others, teaching others how to do it as well. So I think that that's really, really awesome. If you want to follow him, make sure at All Hands on
_ all hands.
All hands.
I'm like, what? All right, whatever.
At _ all hands on Instagram.
We're working on an All Hands Twitter, but right now, _ all hands, and you can also visit my website, www.allhandsinfo.com.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you again, Majazz. Thank you for tuning in, and this has been Media Talks. My name is Krista Edwards, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you for watching Media Talks. I hope that this has been informative and helpful for you as you are inspired to continue to create, continue to learn, and continue to grow in your business. If you'd like to be featured, or you know any brands that we should be paying attention to, go ahead and email me at info@KristaEdwardsConsulting.com. I'm looking forward to partnering with you. Have a wonderful day.